Down I-15 in this. It's only a mere $200,000. I'm Justin Cooper. Coming up Thursday on Channel 8 Eyewitness News this morning, we'll tell you about the Lamborghini dealership that's opening here in Las Vegas. That plus your neighborhood weather and Sky Witness traffic Thursday morning at 5.
Right now on Channel 8 Eyewitness News live at 11.
Everyone screamed, clapped, cried. It was fabulous.
An unbelievable landing seen live right here on Channel 8.
This is a very, very dangerous hurricane.
Plus, a Category 5 hurricane is taking aim at the Gulf Coast.
And it's a frightening thought to think, you walk up and down this thing every day.
But first, a man drove onto a stripped sidewalk, mowing down more than a dozen people. That accident happened right in front of Bally's, just south of Flamingo. In all, 14 people were hit. One person was killed. Channel 8 Eyewitness News is live. Atlee Erlingson is at the scene with the full story. Atlee.
Gary, good evening. It takes an awful lot to shut anything down here in Las Vegas, but tonight a good chunk of the Boulevard was closed for more than 5 hours. Bellagio's fountain was also turned off to give investigators the opportunity to look into this crash without music blaring in their ears. Police are not looking at this as just another traffic incident. Homicide detectives were also out here investigating the possibility this may have been a planned crash. The hustle and bustle of Las Vegas Boulevard came to a screeching halt Wednesday night. Thousands of tourists glued to the sidewalk watching crime scene investigators gather clues.
We've come out here, we've never seen nothing like this.
Investigators say the driver of this red sedan veered onto the sidewalk, plowing over 14 people in front of Bally's Hotel.
I was just sitting at the window watching the fountains, and I heard what I thought was 3 shots pops, pom, pom, pom. And then screaming.
Tourist Don Matson says the screaming never ended.
Just screaming, and the screaming was just continuous, so.
As victims arrived at University Medical Center, shaken family members came following behind. Most are in critical condition tonight. One died on arrival. Investigators say the driver was in a stolen vehicle taken from his mother in Rialto, California. An off-duty police officer who was eating at a nearby restaurant at the time arrested the suspect moments after the crash. A deadly incident leaving tourists in a state of shock.
And it's a frightening thought to think, you walk up and down this thing every day.
Of the 14 people hit, 9 were taken to UMC, 5 over to Sunrise Hospital. The person killed is a 52-year-old man, but tonight his name and where he lives has not yet been released. As for the suspect, he is 27-year-old Stephen Ressa of Rialto, California. He is in the Clark County Detention Center tonight, facing multiple charges and possibly murder. Reporting live on the Las Vegas Boulevard, Atlee Erlingson, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Amazing. Thank you, Atlee. Another breaking news story we followed today was this amazing landing in Los Angeles. A JetBlue passenger plane full of people had a problem with its landing gear. The front wheel turned sideways and wouldn't turn back or retract. The pilot was able to bring that plane and its cargo of frightened passengers down safely, but it took a while. One of those passengers, whose sister lives here in Las Vegas, talked with Eyewitness News tonight. Cindy Caesar has the story.
We're very lucky is how we are.
Lucky. That is how Janet Jacobs describes her experience on this JetBlue Airlines flight.
The stewardesses were terrific. The passengers were calm. People were nervous, of course, but they handled it like the pros they are. It kept us informed of everything that was going on.
Not only did the flight crew keep the passengers informed about their options, but the passengers were also able to watch the plane conduct this emergency landing while they were watching it on their in-flight satellite television set.
That was just absolutely surreal. That was more frightening in a way than the event.
Jacobs says there was a round of applause as the Airbus plane landed safely, and Jacobs thanked the firefighters and kissed the pilot on her way off the plane.
So you can say it was a plane load of people who had their lucky charms with them.
Lucky charms and a skillful pilot. Cindy Caesar, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Amazing. Developing news out of the Gulf tonight. Hurricane Rita has strengthened. It's now a Category 5 storm. Kevin Jennison's been tracking it. as it gains strength.
It's hard to believe it's getting even stronger, too. The latest report from the National Hurricane Center now has the winds of Rita at 175 miles per hour. It is wobbling to the west-northwest, and now in the last hour or two, more due west at only 9 miles per hour. It has the third lowest barometric reading ever since weather records have been kept. If you have a home barometer, try to put this on your barometer, 26.52. That's not even close to what most barometers even read. You need special equipment for that, and still looks like it'll make landfall in Texas on Saturday. Of course, we'll have more on Rita, its dangers to Texas, and of course our own forecast in a few minutes, Gary.
All right, thank you, Kevin. This is the third most intense hurricane on record. Karen Brown joins us live now from Galveston, Texas. Karen.
Well, Gary, I have to tell you that even longtime residents say that they will be evacuating here in Galveston because they're just not going to be taking any chances after what they saw happen with Hurricane Katrina. In fact, all along the Texas coast tonight, there seems to be a mass exodus.
Rita's reckoning is still about 2 days away, but thousands of Texas coast residents aren't waiting to see what the monster storm will bring. At least 1 million people have been ordered to clear the Gulf Coast to make way for what could become the most intense storm on record to hit Texas. Rita topped the hurricane scale at a Category 5, clocking sustained winds above 160 miles an hour.
There is no good news coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. In every way, this looks like Hurricane Katrina. It's about the same strength, and it's in about the same place.
Forecasters say that the difference this time is that the weather pattern should push the storm further to the west. Rita is projected to make landfall along the central Texas coast, possibly right here in Galveston by early Saturday morning.
It is quite likely that it will be a devastating storm when it reaches Texas.
President Bush declared a state of emergency for Texas and Louisiana and pledged this time to be ready for the worst. FEMA promises plenty of supplies, equipment, and manpower are in place.
I'd rather pre-deploy more assets than we need than not have enough.
Having seen what Katrina did 3 weeks ago, thousands of Texans are taking no chances. Still others insist on staying.
I think it's Katrina fever, but it's a storm like any other.
But in a hellacious hurricane season like this one, forecasters say there is no such thing.
And tonight here in Galveston, with most of the businesses and the residents evacuated, police are stepping up patrols. In fact, they plan to have about 200 officers patrolling the streets. They say that just because the residents have left the area does not mean that people can come in and take advantage. They say they're not going to allow any looting in this area. Reporting live in Galveston, I'm Karen Brown. Now, Gary, back to you.
Karen, not Galveston so much, but Houston, a lot of evacuees from Katrina went there. What happens now?
Well, you know what, Gary, it's been really tough on those evacuees. Several thousand of them were taken to Arkansas yesterday, and here in Galveston, actually, several hundred of them had to be evacuated on the buses that were heading for northern Texas, and they really are pretty battered and bruised. But I ran into one woman today who was an evacuee from Katrina, and she was actually volunteering here in Galveston to help the residents flee Rita. So she decided she needed to give back to this community that they had taken her in when she needed it most, and just an incredible story. So something to kind of warm your heart tonight, Gary.
All right. There are wonderful stories coming out down there despite all the problems. Karen, thank you very much. Well, Hurricane Rita is doing what Katrina did, forcing people out of the city of New Orleans. Even a glancing blow with moderate rain could damage the city's newly patched levees and possibly flood that city again. In Katrina news tonight, the death toll from that storm surpassed 1,000 today. Nearly 800 of those deaths are from Louisiana alone. Officials say it could be another 4 to 6 weeks before the final tally is known. Many of those deaths are coming from forced home searches. Searchers are breaking into locked homes to look for victims. This is part of the third and most intense phase of the recovery. Nevada's Task Force 1 is on the road tonight, heading to San Antonio to be ready to help after Rita hits. The group left this afternoon from their warehouse at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Many of these team members just returned on Friday from rescue efforts in New Orleans. Once they arrive in San Antonio, the team will await orders from FEMA about where they're needed.
We learned a lot through Katrina. We had a lot of successes, and it's just another opportunity for us to serve the public, and that's what we all signed up for.
28-member team is made up of police, firefighters, doctors, engineers, and 4 dogs. They could be deployed for 10 to 14 days. New staging center for Katrina evacuees opens tomorrow. The new assistance center will be at 2753 South Highland Drive. That's about 2 blocks south of Sahara. It'll be in Suite 1004. It'll be open from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. So far, Clark County has helped more than 2,400 hurricane victims. The Las Vegas City Council voted today to use federal affordable housing funds to help Hurricane Katrina evacuees. Unanimous vote redistributes up to $1 million, which will be used for rental assistance vouchers. The funds will assist 200 families for up to 6 months. Las Vegas Housing Authority says this will not affect any current housing projects or local residents already waiting for Section 8 vouchers. Construction worker fell to his death today at the South Coast Casino project. The new resort is being built by Coast Casinos at the south end of Las Vegas Boulevard at Silverado Ranch. Metro was called to the scene at first, but since this apparently was an industrial accident, OSHA has now taken over that investigation. The name of the worker killed has not been released. The governor's office says it's close to sending out those long-awaited DMV rebate checks. Channel 8 Eyewitness News got exclusive access to the Utah facility where the printing process is currently underway. The company there is producing about 2 million checks scheduled to be done in early October. Checks range from $75 to a maximum of $275. Did Nevada's Assembly Speaker use his position to intimidate a local hospital? George Knapp has the exclusive story coming up. And a major shutdown during rush hour traffic. It took a look at the accident that closed a portion of the Spaghetti Bowl for more than 5 hours.
You know, when you're looking at losing everything, your pet may be all you have left.
Plus, we'll show you what the city's doing to make sure pets are safe in the event of an emergency here.
You're watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 11 with Dave Cavassier, Paula Francis, neighborhood weather with Kevin Janison, and sports with Dave McCann. It's not just news, it's Channel 8 Eyewitness News. You're watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 11. It's not just news, it's Eyewitness News.
Assembly Speaker and Henderson Deputy Police Chief Richard Perkins will not be running for governor. A judge dismissed a complaint last week that said Perkins had violated the Federal Hatch Act, which restricts political activity by some government employees. There was speculation that the ruling cleared the way for Perkins to announce his candidacy, but Perkins has decided otherwise.
I've come to the conclusion that a very competitive three-way Democratic primary leaves nobody in a position to win the general election. And I feel very, very strongly that the congressman should not be the governor for this state, that he'll roll back the clock on all of our accomplishments.
State Senator Dina Titus is currently the only Democrat running for governor. Henderson Mayor Jim Gibson is expected to announce his candidacy by the end of the month. Well, while Perkins won't be running for governor, he is in the midst of a nasty tussle of sorts. His decision last week to visit nurses working at Desert Springs Hospital has led to a high-profile war of words that's taken a new twist. George Knapp of the I-Team has the exclusive story.
It's something I'm going to look at as well, Jane.
Assembly Speaker Richard Perkins says he was invited to Desert Springs Hospital last week by nurses who work there. The nurses complain they are being denied the right to wear buttons in support of a nurses union. When hospital managers saw Perkins with the button-wearing nurses, 10 nurses were told to go home. The Review-Journal ran a front-page story about the incident in which the hospital accused Perkins of endangering the lives of patients, a charge Perkins vehemently denied.
Now, it's a complete fabrication. And it's a complete fabrication in an effort to hide their own, what I believe is negligence in caring for their patients.
Now a new development. This letter obtained by the I-Team was mailed from Perkins to the parent company of Desert Springs. It bears legislative letterhead and Perkins' signature notes his formal title. In the text, Perkins accused the hospital of dangerous, immoral, and illegal behavior by preventing the nurses from organizing and by sending them home merely for wearing buttons. Perkins demanded an apology, requested a meeting with company executives, and vowed that he plans to monitor the company's treatment of the nurses. On Tuesday, the hospital fired back this letter, denying any criminal activity, declining to participate in any meeting, and basically telling Perkins to mind his own business. A company executive told us he was shocked to see Perkins use his state title and legislative letterhead and felt it was an attempt to intimidate the hospital. Perkins, busy announcing his withdrawal from the governor's race, could not be reached late Wednesday afternoon. But a key political advisor said the speaker was well within his rights to use his title, adding that even though he's no longer running for governor, he is still a state assemblyman and had every right to meet with the nurses at their request. The hospital appearance may have had political overtones, but the advisor said Perkins is an assemblyman 24 hours a day, no matter where he goes. Perkins and his advisors felt the Review-Journal story was way overblown and was designed to hurt his now defunct gubernatorial campaign. Hospital executives think it was the speaker who was way out of line, both with his visit and with his letter. George Knapp, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Last week, Perkins said he was contemplating legal action against Desert Springs Hospital for the comments made to reporters. Traffic's back to normal in the Spaghetti Bowl tonight after a semi rolled over, dumping its load of pipes on the roadway. It happened about 4:30 on I-15 northbound at the on-ramp from US 95. And the interchange was closed for about 5.5 hours while crews worked to clean up the mess. 4 vehicles in all were involved in the accident. The only person injured was the driver of the semi. He suffered minor injuries. Global warming could make our current drought in the valley even worse. The new study shows more heat will mean less snowpack in the Rockies and less water into the Colorado River. Dan Geary with the National Environmental Trust Group says global warming is causing our region to get warmer temperatures and more rain than snow.
The current trends right now are showing that the prediction is that we're going to lose, around 24% of our snowpack that feeds the Colorado River Basin between the years 2010 and 2039.
Southern Nevada Water Authority says it is looking for other water sources in case the problems with the Colorado River continue. Time now to check in with Kevin Janison, find out what's going on. Saw you once talking about Rita, now talk about our weather and other stuff.
Little update on Rita, too, for people that are just tuning in. We've got a pretty nice night in progress.
Yeah,
Still a little leftover humidity, though, from yesterday's rain. That was nice. It's going to be a while before we see more of the rain. Here are some real-time conditions neighborhood-wise. We'll take you over to Valley View in Charleston. Wow, I can hear the windows cracking open. It's 70 degrees, 36% relative humidity, and just a light breeze. Over near Sandy Ridge and Green Valley Parkway, that neighborhood's at 76 and 28%. Twain and Maryland Parkway checking in at 76 and 29%. And in Pahrump right now, already down to 59 degrees at Clark Middle School. Calm wind with 56% humidity. High temperatures today, most neighborhoods making it into the low 90s, especially in southern and eastern sections. Now remember, we were a little more humid today than we had been the last couple of weeks, so it felt a tad warmer than that when you factor in the humidity. And out northwest and west side of town, those neighborhoods pretty much in the mid to upper 80s. Mountain hit 66, Pahrump topped out at 82, it was 91 in Boulder City, and how about double digits for Death Valley, a rarity. At McCarran, top temperature today wasn't even 90, a couple degrees below normal. 70 was our morning low, and the air quality in the good category yet again. And look how short these days are getting. Sunset now at 6:37 on this, the last evening of summer. How about that? Here's the latest update on Rita. If you missed us at the beginning of the newscast, now 175 mile-per-hour sustained winds. It's sort of wobbling west-northwest at about 9 miles per hour and continuing to move in that direction. We do think that it's heading toward Texas with possible landfall on Saturday. There is some good news, it's all relative, but New Orleans is up here, and the idea of Rita to make a sharp right and head to New Orleans is next to impossible now. We'll be watching very closely which part of the Texas coast is going to get struck. There are a couple of things to look out for. First of all, this is very warm water, so we don't see the hurricane losing a lot as it gets into the western Gulf. But as the water gets shallower, closer to the coastline, it is more possible that the hurricane could weaken somewhat. Not a tremendous amount, but somewhat, and maybe not, and this is a big maybe, but maybe not a Category 5 when it makes landfall. Again, that should probably be Saturday. Here at home, yesterday's rain clouds have pushed on out. Skies clear, a moonlit evening in progress. We do have another disturbance up here, and it's going to slide down and park itself off the central California coast. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of cloud cover, although we'll get a few clouds here and there, but we will see the breezes pick up late in the weekend. Let's wind up your Thursday, mid-70s by 8 a.m. as you're heading out the door. Lunchtime, at least mid-80s. In fact, some neighborhoods already be pushing 90. And late in the afternoon, low to mid-90s with just a light breeze across the valley. Overnight tonight, Clear skies, 70 degrees for the low. Some neighborhoods will dip into the 60s. Then tomorrow, autumn officially begins at about 3:23 in the afternoon, and that's probably the exact time we'll hit that high of 92 degrees. 7-day forecast now, a couple degrees warmer as we get into Friday. Then we'll back off as the breezes pick up as early as late Saturday. A little taste of fall. As highs will be in the 80s. Lows will be in the lower 60s for Sunday and Monday. So a lot to watch, but right now, Southern Nevada's weather doing okay.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Las Vegas has unveiled a new mobile shelter to transport lost animals in the event of an emergency. It includes 33 animal cages, a veterinary examination area, and a surgical suite. Karen Coyne with the Las Vegas Detention and Enforcement says the mobile shelter demonstrates the Valley's level of emergency preparedness.
We have a unique opportunity to assure our residents that your animals have a place to go. They're going to be safe and well cared for while they're there, and you can look forward to a happy, full family reunion when it's over.
That's nice. It can also be used as a staging and recovery station for police canine units during investigations and at emergency scenes. Well, last night of summer baseball.
It's taken the Yankees all summer to get into first place.
They made it.
But they did it just in time. There's a changing of the guard in the American League East. And it's the same old for that Barry Bonds. Another day, another big shot. I'll show it to you. Mike Sanford orders an attitude adjustment for his football team as UNLV prepares for Utah State. Sports is next here on Channel 8. Let's win again, 5-1. Padres hold off the Rockies. They bounce back from that shelling they took last night. Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers again. Astros over the Pirates. Mets and Cardinals are winners. Brewers nip the Cubbies, and the Phillies get a grand slam in the 10th to beat the Braves. There's been a changing of the guard in the American League East. New York's Matt Lawton hits a 2-run shot in the second inning, and it's just enough for pitcher Randy Johnson to get the win. Yankees beat Baltimore 2-1 and move back into first place, a half game ahead of the Red Sox because Boston lost at Tampa Bay 7-4. The Indians pick up a big win at the White Sox. Angels over the Rangers. Twins hand the A's a setback. Royals beat the Tigers, and the Mariners over the Blue Jays 3-2. Trust me on that one. UNLV's football team's making an attitude adjustment this week in practice. It began with 9 roster spots opened up by Mike Sanford with hopes that the week will end with a victory.
Definitely, you know, I mean, after the disappointing loss at UNR, you know, we kind of have come out, and it's definitely, you know, we have a whole new attitude on the season, have a whole new outlook on the season. You know, every week from here on out, you know, becomes a desperate, you know, must-win game. So I think that the attitude adjustment is really here.
I think there's just a lot of, you know, sense of urgency. We got, you know, this is a must-win football game for us, and I think a lot of guys are, you know, focused and prepared this week, and you know, to go out and get a victory this Saturday.
UNLV kicks off at Utah State 5 o'clock Saturday night. We'll provide the game live on Channel 8. You must supply your own popcorn. We hope you'll plan to be with us. College football tonight. 2 mid-majors who've fallen off the national radar a bit. Bowling Green at Boise State. The Broncos run out to a 48-6 lead on that Smurf turf, and they enjoy a big night at home, 48-20. The Las Vegas Gladiators hope to use a football camp and a dance camp to raise money for hurricane victims. Team and dance members will be at Sam Boyd Stadium Saturday morning from 10 until noon.
Well, it's important for us to give something back to the community that are hurting down there in the Gulf Coast area. One of the teams down there, the New Orleans Voodoo in our league, is suffering just like a lot of other people are, and we're just determined to give something back to them.
Kids looking to dance or play football can take part in the camps for a $25 donation. For more information, go to lvgladiators.com. The New Orleans Hornets will play 35 of its NBA home games in Oklahoma City and 6 others on the campus of LSU. The Hornets' home arena in New Orleans was damaged by Hurricane Katrina. Thomas and Mack Center folks had offered to lend their space, but they're going to stay a little closer to home.
Yeah, it's a long way out here. Yeah. Well, here's one. It's a labor of love right here in the Valley, in this home for disabled child being built by volunteers.
You're watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 11. It's not just news, it's Eyewitness News.
Volunteers today helped with construction of a very special home in the Valley. This Habitat for Humanity home is designed to accommodate the needs of a disabled child. Volunteers from Wells Fargo Home Mortgage stepped in today to help finish that Henderson project. Habitat for Humanity says with home prices on the rise in the Valley, affordable housing like this one is vitally important. Habitat does good work. They're going to be called on to do a lot in New Orleans, so anything you can do to help them would be welcome, I'm sure. Well, that's it for Eyewitness News, live at 11 o'clock. David Letterman is up next. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night.
You know, covering health issues for Channel 8 is very rewarding. I discover something new every day, and people tell me they learn so much. A lot's happening right here in southern Nevada, like an exciting new procedure for varicose veins that cuts recovery time in half. And did you know that high-tech lasers can help people breathe better? Join me for Eye on Health. There's always something new that just might change your life for the better.
What you need to know. Channel 8 Eyewitness News.